Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. I woke up this morning and I was surprised that we fulfilled the targets for both longs, the 4-hour time frame and also for the daily time frame. We're going to do a little bit of a review of how it went with the two longs. We're also going to look what's next in the market and let you know if I think there is a new opportunity to enter into a trade. And as usual, we're going to look into liquidity and other indicators that might help us finding the appropriate bias for our next trade. What you're looking now is the daily time frame, and the long setup that we discussed was that they should reach the top channel here formed by this descending broadening wedge. And even though it closed below the resistance, at some point yesterday, the RSI was touching this resistance. And we can completely confirm that because on yesterday's green candle, we actually managed to touch RSI 55, which was, we said that we should get somewhere in between 55 and 56, and the high of the price made it by the dollar to RSI 55. That is now completed, and we need to assess the situation. For that, I'm going to look into the RSI again. I can see that the RSI found support on this dotted line there. It kind of faked out here, but now it's being constricted into this squeeze going on in this area of the pattern. So we need to look for confirmation on whether we're going to break below the dotted line and continue on our way down to the lower range of the RSI daily, or if we are going to hold above the, and potentially we might see a breakout above this white line. We do not have enough confirmation and we are entering into the weekend. So be aware that all this analysis is going to have some additional risk component to it. From the point of view of the price, we can see that that dotted line from the RSI is also represented by this yellow trend line. We talk about this breakdown. This is the fake out because technically it was below, tested it as a resistance, but then it went all the way up as we were saying in the previous days. We expected to see this coming back in just because the RSI was saying that that is the case. We learned that from the 4-hour time frame, and then it hit our target, and now it's coming back and it's slightly below the support. It's too early in the day, but if today we close above 67.2, it's going to be considered by many investors as we are back above the support. Also consider that many people are not looking at this trend line. Many people are looking at this massive flag here that has these two resistances and these two touches at the bottom. And many people are expecting a retest at around 63 now, 62, and to fill this area as part of some potential sideways consolidation before we continue going down or on our way up. On the 4-hour, this is the star of the show because it gave us both the hint that we were going up on the 3rd of April, and it gives us the target of 68.5, which is precisely where we closed yesterday. From there, there was a rejection. Many people on YouTube are talking about this rejection as it must now go to lower prices. And that means that many shorts are reopening positions. And even though they got wrecked, they're going to try once more to short the price. We need to look into the momentum to see if they're going to succeed on that or if they're going to get wrecked once again. And for that, I'm looking into two separate things in the 4-hour. First of all, I place this RSI support now on this trend line. We can see that we are coming now to retest it. So all eyes on what's going on in this area of the RSI to tell us whether there's continuation now in a potential lower low. But at the same time, I have my Fibonacci retracement placed from the bottom, this move to the top at 69.3. And you can see that the golden pocket formed by 0.5 to 0.618 is precisely where the price seems to be bouncing. It's too early to say if it's going to succeed, but a retest on this area with a higher high might imply that this is the beginning of a trend starting from here, at least a mini trend in the 4-hour. And if that's the case, we could again to go and visit RSI 60, which is currently located at 69K. A reminder that we haven't filled yet fully CME gap. We partially fill it. I'm not saying that we have to fill it, but it's still there. And this is probably causing some bias to many investors, thinking that the price must come here. An interesting development on the volume coming from ETFs is that it's been coming down all this time. And yesterday, with this particular green candle, is the first time that the volume breaks out. You can see confirmation of that with the indicator volume analysis. That is the first candle that we have in yellow since around the 25th of March, and it's the first one that breaks this downtrend. It's just a positive sign. It doesn't necessarily mean that from now it has to go up all the time, but I'm keeping an eye on the volume from the ETFs, since that is the narrative that has been pushing the price this high, and it's got the potential to continue doing so. You can see that Bitcoin on the weekly is still in the area of the breakdown on this local support. We also have on the stochastic RSI a bearish cross and bias towards the weekly RSI to fill this channel here, which might come with some consolidation and some bearish moves as well. This will be really bullish for Bitcoin if we bounce from around this area, because it might mean a reset of the weekly to gain some strength to continue into the bull market like we did in this area here. And looking at the weekly from this particular angle, you can see that the highest we've been on the weekly closing was this, and we are having here a massive battle to confirm that we can close all these weeks, which are 4 full weeks, that the price wants to break below 65. That is that support now. Of course, if this week end up closing below 65.8, that will be considered massively bearish, at least on the weekly time frame. And in that case, I'm going to continue looking into the 51 to 48 if that happens. You can see that our volume from the fair value gaps almost all gone to the upside. There's just a few leftovers towards 71. The exception is 73, that is around here. I'm not saying that everything needs to be taken before the price starts considering taking the liquidity on the downside, but I'm just saying that the incentive for the price to come here and punish shorts has decreased now. And if we go to high block capital, we can see that the picture has completely changed. We were in the 600K in this area here, and I was talking that this is a good incentive for the price to go higher. And that's why I started looking on the 4-hour for an opportunity that took us to 69K. But currently is very, very balanced, the delta. So we cannot use this to decide what could be the bias in the direction of the price in the coming days. We can see that there is volume here at 74K in the last 3 months. To the downside, there's a massive party of liquidity. So I'm not even going to look at it because the price could go to any of that. And on the monthly, we see liquidity spanning all the way from 71 to 80K. I still see the Bitcoin Explorer in the area of the deposits. So big whales continue to distribute. Active other sentiment still not below my green, which is typically where there's the largest opportunities to re-enter the market. And the same with the advanced NVT signal is below the dotted green, but not below the actual green line. Worth mentioning that being below the green line only happens when there is a very, very big correction. And if we don't get that correction, this will be the time to enter, at least partially. I will say the NVT studio is now flagging a correction. You can see that we have the support here, and finally we are below the trend line. I would like to see this a little bit lower. I have never seen this indicator flagging over 99, 98. You can see in the full history, we barely made it to 89. So this is going completely nuts in terms of network value transaction. The big news of the day is that the Bitcoin dominance currently pushing very aggressively. As I record the video, it's located at 54.55. We've been in this area, but we have been rejected at least 4 times since November. So if this is going to be the time that we actually made it to 57, that is the question. I've been talking about the momentum on the Bitcoin dominance has been above our trend line now for multiple weeks. We need to be aware of the implications of such a high Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance represents the amount of market cap that is on Bitcoin versus the rest of the crypto market. And being this high means that people are preferring Bitcoin not just against USDT, but against any other altcoin, including Ethereum. We are now seeing a little bit of weakness in the price. We are seeing that the RSI on the 4-hour is challenging our support. So this could be one of those times that the dominance increases just because Bitcoin is about to break down and have a pullback. As I told you yesterday, you not only get high levels of Bitcoin dominance when Bitcoin pumps, also when Bitcoin dumps. And it's because when the whole market collapses, people prefer to move their assets, their redbacks, into Bitcoin, not just into USDT. And guys, if you want to trade with Bitcoin or any altcoins, I recommend that you have a look at the links in the description. I have very juicy rewards if you decide to do so. In the description, you're going to find one link to that is going to allow you to get part of the 60,000 USDT prize. You can win an iPhone, an iPad, or an Apple Watch. OKX comes included with both, and it offers exposure to very diverse number of tokens. They have very good levels of volume as well to trade with perpetuals. And if you have struggled to get past KYC wherever you live, you could consider getting an account on BinkX. In this one, I have up to 6,000 in rewards. And the beauty of BinkX is that it's KYC friendly. In most countries, you won't need to do KYC to be able to run perpetuals, leverage. And the other thing I like about BinkX is that it gives you also exposure to indices, stocks, and many other assets, not just crypto, which is amazing because you could deposit USDT and have a diversified portfolio, not just in crypto, but you can seamlessly transition between indices, stocks, back and forward. And if you're interested in copy trading bots, I also have a link in the description. You can browse all the bots that I have currently available. You do not need a subscription to TTP to be able to copy any of these bots. But of course, if you are a VIP member already, you can talk to my team via our Discord server and request massive discount on success fees. Also, if you are already holding one of the Trading Parrots NFTs, you can connect your wallet to our Discord server and then talk to my team as well and claim the same discount. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.